Hello, Toronto Blue Jays fans, and welcome to Jays Latest. I'm your host, Craig Borden, and we're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays today as we keep streaking toward the, further gap in the American League East in first place now. The Blue Jays have shown their dominance and are doing what they're doing. So, as we keep streaking, let's talk how we could improve this team first. It appears that the Red Sox are slowly but surely falling behind, and there's been all sorts of rumors around what the Red Sox could do at the trade deadline at a minimum. If they can't get moving a little bit better in the wild card standings, they're going to be wanting to move people that are on 1 year contracts, especially players like Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman is having a year for the ages at his 37 and a half years old age. He's been doing, like I said, insanely well. A 1.29 ERA, three wins, two losses, almost a 2 ERA, or a 2 WAR, I mean, in 35 innings pitched. He's only allowed 17 hits. Slightly crazy. Meanwhile, striking out 51. So he is missing bats to the tune of wild and crazy. He would be a hell of a pairing in the back end of this bullpen with Jeff Hoffman, with currently 15 saves for the Boston Red Sox. But at the end of the day, like I mentioned, this is his only season that he is on contract with the Boston Red Sox in his 14-year Major League career. He has been, like I said, great. So this could be the Blue Jays finally going full circle on a player they actually almost got on day one when he came to Major League Baseball. Um, it would be really cool to see him in a Blue Jay uniform and amp it up. I just can't imagine the amount of how should I say this, tenaciousness between somebody like him being in the locker room with Mad Max. I think this spells success. I really do. Problem is, we'll have to pay the dreaded trade within the division tax. But at the end of the day, having eventually when he gets healthy, because he just went back on the injured list yesterday, Jimmy Garcia, the tandem that we have had in this back end of this bullpen, and then having Jeff Hoffman doing what he's done over the last month. Throwing somebody like Aroldis Chapman into that mix is going to be slightly crazy to that point, and unhittable, locked down, nonsense. Because now you're going to have a power righty and a power lefty that can come in and just miss bats. Um, yeah, boom, make it happen if you can. It's just one of those things. This is the difference between a championship team, and I'm reminding myself of how bad it was to lose to that Kansas City Royals bullpen when we played them in the playoffs in 2015. You have Chapman, that's how other teams are going to feel. Just saying. So, anyways, on that note, I want to make sure we also talk really, really quickly on the fact that it is almost the Major League Baseball draft. We are basically a week away from it. If you happen to be watching MLB Network next week, the Blue Jays actually have the 8th overall pick in the first round. They're going to be looking to add, and they have a great position to be able to do that in with the 8th pick. There's a lot of young talent in this Major League Baseball draft that's this year, including other holidays and other these once great family names to Blue Jays to add to the Vlad Jr., the Bo Bichette tandem and whatnot. So keep it moving and check that out because it's going to be fun to watch next week as the Blue Jays, continue to move their future. Which, to be this person, it's also a good thing that those draft picks are actually before the trade deadline because they have been traded in the last couple of years. So do not forget that one as well. So moving right along, we get to talk about our 7th win in a row. The streak continues. We are now 3 games ahead in the American League East as the Mets beat up on the New York Yankees, and the Rays lost to the Twinkies in the last inning as well. So I'm just going to say thank you, Pete Alonso, for that late home run that kind of deflated the Yankees along with Michael Kay. Please check that one out. I retweeted it on the Jaybird Watching podcast Twitter. It was very fun to watch because you just hear the animosity in his voice for a team that is not a first place team right now. So, oh, sorry, did that turn the knife just a little bit? So anyway, let's talk about this game because this was a fun one to watch. Very back and forth, sit on the edge of your seat. There was always something going on, and both teams were having a very hard time capitalizing on those few runs that were on. Even in the first inning, it was very back and forth to that point, like I mentioned. Max Scherzer actually was one pitch away from an immaculate inning in the second after letting the bases loaded in the first inning and squeaking out of it with only a run scored. He walked in that run, just FYI. He had a really rough first inning. But team came right back. Addison Barger right at the center of everything. Nathan Lucas had led off with a single, and Addison Barger drives him in with a single. Keeps it 1-1 after the first inning. And then, like I mentioned, it's kind of slow burn this one. Joe Adell gets a sac fly that puts the Angels up by 2-1. And then, not to be outdone again, Captain Hot, George Springer with way too much extra spring in his step, which we're loving every damn minute of it. I'll have whatever he's having this season, is all I'm thinking. Hits his 16th home run of the season. Put that in perspective. George Springer hasn't had maybe one season that he's had 16 home runs at this time around the All-Star break. So Nathan Lucas scores on that as well. A 2-run dinger puts the Blue Jays up 3-2. Um, in the seventh inning, they tie it back up. Nathan Showell hits a single, brings in a you know, Luis Renifo from third scores it up. And then eventually, Addison Barger walks this one off. And we're going to talk about that one in just specifically here in a minute after we dive into this box score and the performances on the field just a little bit. I don't know what I is so fun about watching Nathan Lucas in the leadoff spot, but I've been really liking it. He's getting on base, he's getting hits, he's coming up with clutch hits, he's speedy enough that he scores runs. Went 2 for 5 yesterday with a walk and 2 runs scored. So really great. I love watching it. He reminds me of Angry Bird era Reed Johnson a lot. He's got that same mentality of just help the team and get it moving and go from there. And he's been doing a great job in that spot. I've been loving it. And then setting up the table, obviously, for George Springer, who had another 2 RBIs on the home run and went 2 for 6 yesterday with a run scored, obviously, as well. Vladdy getting in on the action with a walk and 3 hits yesterday. Barger, as I mentioned, 2 hits yesterday. It's just up and down this lineup. There's not one person that's overwhelmingly contributing outside of George Springer right now, but that's a hot streak, maybe. But it's just a team effort. And Mad Max actually was saying that after the game yesterday, that they are getting contributions from everywhere. And he's actually not been on a team that has had contributors like this. So that was very interesting. He called out that every person on this roster, 26 plus, has been helping this Blue Jays team win during this winning streak. Also, red freaking hot and played 3. You heard me. 3 positions in this baseball game yesterday. Ernie Clement went 2 for 5 as well, as he picked up a first, second, and third base glove yesterday. But we need to talk the pitching because this one was the fun one because the Blue Jays got a major league debut that was clutch for Lazaro Estrada yesterday. 4 innings pitched out of the bullpen after Mad Max threw his 4 innings. Allows just the 1 earned run, strikes out 4, and came up huge for the Blue Jays here and saving this bullpen for the next couple days. Max Scherzer gets 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks is really what bit him. 4 strikeouts as well. But that little bit of ampacity or whatever he was doing yesterday was just enough to throw the ball a little bit too hard in a few situations, it seemed like. But and then I want to make sure I say Brandon Fisher. Wow, what a blessing he has been. And everybody has been all of a sudden talking about where he actually came from, and everybody forgets. He was actually the one that came back when we traded Kevin Biggio to the Dodgers. So thank you, LA, for giving us Brandon Fisher, who has got a 2.39 ERA at the moment in 24 games, which is 26 innings of work, 35 strikeouts, and a .87 whip. He has been electric to the Blue Jays bullpen and a real stabilizing force, and will be easily getting more leverage like he did yesterday, pitching both of the extra innings to be able to lead the Blue Jays to eventual victory. So let's talk the walk-off because this was clutch, and I can't say anything more than that because Addison Barger, I thought we were literally going to just ride out this and go into another inning. And we had runners on the right places, one first and third, and Addison Barger comes up and just wallops a single into right field that lands probably about 10 feet in front of the right fielder. But those few meters actually helped, obviously, because that brings in the winning run, and we walk this thing off in crazy water and Gatorade freaking showers for Edson Barger, who actually somehow wrapped up his interview post game yesterday before Vladdy and everybody got him with the water cooler. So, not that he wasn't drenched already, because somebody came out of the locker room or the dugout was already nailing him and everything. So, keeps it interesting. But Barger, cannot say enough good things about him batting 270 and doing the things he's been doing. Every clutch performance part that he's been able to contribute to, he's been doing. So he's been great. Should be an all-star. I think he is on that unfortunate list of just missing and outside looking in, especially when you look at this club that the Bobichets, the George Springer especially should be getting an all-star uh, bid, along with Alejandro Kirk should be the backup catcher for the American League in this All-Star game. So, if you're going to call me a betting person, I think the Blue Jays get um, obviously Vlad's in, Springer, and Alejandro Kirk are going to be the Blue Jays' three Major League Baseball All Stars this year. And I think that's just going to be unfortunate that Bobichet's going to just miss it. And so is Ernie Clement and Addison Barger. But I would love to see all five of them go, but I just don't know if they're going to have enough room on the roster. If I'm a betting person, those are the three I'm putting because I need to see George Springer at the All Star game this year. So, anyways, what's on the docket for today, Blue Jays fans, as we go for the sweep for the second series in a row? We are going to have Kevin Gossman versus Tyler Anderson of the Anaheim Angels. Tyler Anderson has been a solid force for many years now, and he's been doing great for the Angels this year. Just over a 4 ERA in 91 innings. He has I lost it. So, but he's been doing really well. He just actually blanked the Atlanta Braves in 6 innings and has not allowed, or even right before that, the Boston Red Sox only allowed a run. So very good for him. He's been doing great. He's been a stabilizing force. I wonder if he's going to be traded. Just saying. um, and we're going to have Kevin Gossman on the hill for us, who is fresh off of a 8 inning, 0 earned runs with Cleveland Guardians, along with the New York Yankees only allowing 2 earned runs over 5. So we're gonna get that matchup today as the Blue Jays, like I said, hope to get the brooms out for the second series in a row and keep building on that run differential to keep staying in first place. They're going to be looking to grow that lead as much as humanly possible because it will obviously help them down the stretch. And there's blood in the water. We got to take advantage of it while we can because the Rays and the Yankees have slumped over the last week while we've been streaking. So, anyway, Blue Jays fans, make sure you check us out here on Jay's Latest. We'll be here every day as much as humanly possible, and we will talk all things Toronto Blue Jays and trade rumors and MLB draft over the next week. So, y'all have a great day. Go Blue Jays. Cheers.